Welcome to the show. It's your boy Almighty, and this is Blunt Talk, where I share my opinions about the trending topics going on today. And right now, as usual, we have a few topics. We got apparently this Gucci Man and Pooh Shiesty stuff, updates on that. And then we got some streamer that got released, so streamer news as well. So let's get right into it. By the way, grab your joints, whatever you grabbing. You know what I mean? Don't forget to, thumbs up, and let's get to the first one. All right. So I recently seen that academics had posted that he was basically trying to debunk the whole rumor that Gucci got robbed for his jewelry, because partly what was said that he was robbed for was his wedding ring. And as you can see in this post, it's saying, hey, you got a wedding ring, right? And this news was initially carried by Sadie Nash, then of course it went, viral. And Sadie Nash had, I also seen that Sadie Nash had, something to say about it, what I'm saying, in his reaction. And he basically debunked these debunking. So there's a debuncation of a debuncation. You know what I'm talking about? Someone's debunking, someone is debunking. But anyway, he debunked it, saying that yeah, this video right here, that this is not, this picture, sorry, that this picture is not recent. You know what I'm saying? That the picture is what he said, he did his video on the 15th, right? And this right here is was posted on the 10th, so basically before the incident would have happened. So y'all can believe what you want. Now, how far into the truth or whatever this is, I don't know. I can't say. I'm not gonna lie to you. Personally, for me, I think this situation, as I always said, of course, this my brand is all about peace, love, empathy, oneness. You know what I mean? Understanding. So this situation, I definitely think, it's something that could have, it's everything. I always think everything can go better with discussion, so having a conversation. But according to SETI, right, there was a yelling match, and then Gucci signed the thing, right, because bruh, he was the back and forth yelling and all that good stuff. So like an angry sign. That's according to SETI, right? That's what he's alleging that happened, not because of the gun or not because of whatever the score is. I don't know. At this point, we don't even know what the story really is. You know what I'm saying? But it, there's a lot of stories going on. You know what I'm talking about? So something must have happened. You know what I mean? Or something. Even though we can't piece how, where, and where. Eventually, some way, somehow, the story gonna come out, because you already know the internet, man. Once it start going like this, reputation is everything, especially for these artists, or generally, if you say as a public figure, your reputation is everything. You know what I'm saying? That's if you built your reputation on that. You know what I mean? And this suggestion for me is just it's a touchy one. If you see my previous reaction when I was talking about it, I was talking about how I feel like Gucci explained why he was letting go of artists and all that. I didn't think it was because of the beef and all that. They say he had with Gotti. I think it was just his mental health and all that. But I don't know. None of us know. You know what I'm saying? Now we don't even know if it's true. We don't like that's just not enough. That's it. Videos they're saying there's out there. There's pictures, right? There's out there. You know what I mean? And who knows what's real and what's not? You know what I mean? Like I'm not even gonna lie. At this point, who knows what's going on until Brock comes out and says something? It's gonna be speculation. If you're talking about, it's gonna be speculation for a minute. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how that goes. You know what I mean? And respectfully and understandably, that's kind of the whole media thing. You know what I mean? Because the idea is like media is like the telephone game. You know what I'm saying? Like by the time it goes from one place to another, it might change. You know what I'm saying? We all trying to keep as much as the original information as possible. That's why I feel reactions are good, because we pull you see the source, you see everything. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not just broadcasting this to you. We telling you where we got it from. You can go check it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to like mainstream news or mainstream media, where they might be like, oh, my source is this and that, league is a private and all that. Well, you can't really verify. It might be true, it might not be, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You know what I mean? What they say, I think right now they consider us as actual media. Recently, during the Megan Thee Stallion and like a Megan Cunniff thing or whatever, whoever the recent thing that went on. You know what I'm saying? But now they consider YouTubers, the YouTube media side as media. So hey, that's one step forward. Yeah, but anyway, I don't know. This if I mean, I seen this and I'm trying to work better on my updates because usually when I react to stuff, I don't come back to like if I talk about something and it's just yeah, that's it. You're gonna find out the other thing because don't forget, when I talk about things, I'm not necessarily talking about the person. I'm talking about the concept. You know what I'm saying? If you took this person's name out of the situation and put another person there, I'd be talking about that. I still talking about that because it's not about the person themselves. It's about what I'm saying, the bigger issue. You know what I'm talking about? That's how I react to stuff because that's what what I mean. Because we are like realistically, as I always say, we make the same mistakes, all of us. Like we do the same. We just put different labels on it. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, we all make the same mistakes, and and the causes is also the same. We just also with different labels. You know what I'm saying? I always say if you just eliminated male, female, or let's just assume that you couldn't even speak. You can describe. How would you explain something? And you would notice that we going through the same things. It's just changing the names of the things or the structure of the things. But you going through an obstacle, you conquer the obstacle, and you feel this way. After you feel that way, then you went to sleep. After you went to sleep, then you woke up. You know, like it's just you know what I'm saying. Like if you understand what I mean, like we all human beings are going through. So that's why we can understand each other. You know what I'm saying. We just have to understand that we are going through. You know what I'm saying. And that's kind of the harder part because it's the harder part. It's hard to wire. Anyway, all right. This one right here, Vitaly the streamer has been released after 290 days in Philippines jail. You all remember Vitaly? You know what I'm saying? The brother that was doing all the, screaming on the, pedo thing. You know what I'm saying? Where he was catching the predators and all that good shit and the whoop whoop and and disrespecting people and all that good stuff. You remember? Y'all remember? Well, brother's that, and from what we see and from this, it doesn't seem like bro learned his lesson. I thought he would have learned his lesson. To be realistic with you, I'm just being honest. Like I really was initially when I first seen the news, I was going to react that hopefully he's learned his lesson. Then I seen some more posts, and I'm just like, yo, this man it doesn't sound like it, right? Maybe he has. You never know, right? Maybe he has, but it doesn't sound like it. It just, it's not giving, right? In the words of the ladies, it's not giving that, right? And if that's the case, then hey, man, hey, you lay your bed, what they say, something about you make your bed the way you want to lay in it, or something like that. Hey, it's because me realistically after going through all that I was because it's simple empathy, dog. Like the key is empathy. I've always been against the prankster streamers. I've always been against, like, when I mean against, not like hating or anything, but I just feel like it's too dangerous. Some people are not trying to play them games. Life is really going on sometimes. A lot of people enjoy it and I don't knock it. It's not my forte, but what I mean. So I've always been like, yo, don't, some people have crashed out, some people died, some all that good stuff from it. And when I seen this thing, I was just like, yeah, I was never interested in it. But this situation not happened to him. Of course, I would have thought it was a learning experience for most people. What I mean, I don't lie, I've not been seeing a lot of prank stuff going like trending, but maybe I just, as I said, I don't like it, so I keep it out of my algorithm. You know what I'm saying? But I would thought that this was a lesson for most people. Learn that you just that stuff. On all the things, but people gonna still be people. What I mean? That's the thing I keep saying about choice. Like a lot of people keep attributing a lot of things to different reasons and excuses and all. It's probably because he grew up like this and experienced this trauma and all that. And I'd be like, bro, that's still a power of choice. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, nobody chose to come to this life. You know what I mean? So that's the ultimate trauma is being alive. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wanted to be here. Nobody wanted to experience this shit. But here we are. But you have to act accordingly because you here. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the bottom line of it. You know what I mean? And it's the bitter truth about life. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have been born ages ago, you could have been born in the future. You know what I'm saying? Well, whatever the problem that you're going through right now has been solved or never existed. But here you are right now. You know what I'm saying? You can see it as your mission. If you know this is the problem, try to solve it, right? or you can see it as, bro, it's big. This is how it is. Like, but reality, in the real, fact about things is that this is what you have. Like, you were not born in the past, you are not born in the future. You're born right now. So deal, you know what I mean? Like, and that's just, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm like, excuses. We can give a lot of excuses why life is there, but this is what we have now. How do we get there? How do we, make it work for us better and all that good stuff? And that's why I just, my philosophy of life. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you can't control anything outside of yourself, literally outside of your body. You know what I'm saying? You can do your best work and you can get nothing. You know what I mean? They cannot pay you. They can insult you. You can put all your effort in, and someone say you're not even putting a lick of effort in. You know what I'm saying? And genuinely you working hard. You know what I mean? But that's life. You know what I mean? It's not life is not. That's why I keep saying you came in on your own, you're gonna leave on your own. You know what I'm saying? This is life. This is what we have. You know what I mean? Are you gonna just stop because that happens? No, you keep going because you have to survive. You have to do this. You have goals. You got to. So you know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying empathy is very important. And doing this style of content, disrespecting people, not trying to understand what other people are going through, thinking that you're the only one going through the worst things in life because or whatever it is. I can't support it. It goes completely against what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. Do your thing. I respect whatever is working for you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? But yeah, bro, don't seem like he's learned his lesson and he's out here. And my whole thing is, hopefully, what I mean, this is all just content in the sense of the way he's reacting to it. Some people might act like, oh, I don't want to act like I got hurt. You know what I mean? And we know these people, man, that behind bars. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? And the dons, them folks is acting different. They all, you know what I mean? When they come out, oh, I'm tough. I'm tough. Yeah, we know that. You know what I'm saying? I even did a skit about this. You know what I'm saying? You can check it out. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's good, bro. Hopefully that's the case. If that's the case, just for publicity's sake or whatever to keep his brand, his hey, that's his business. You know what I'm saying? Which I still don't support because then you sending the wrong message out there. But hopefully, bro has learned his lesson though, and he's just what I mean, because bro, like it'd be insane after doing all that time for something that clearly you were wrong for. Like building the whole brand on. I mean, and if, people that support him gonna support him. You know what I'm saying? But people supporting him, they just, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. I find it quite mm, quite you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I'm glad bro is back at least. You know what I'm saying? As a human being, you know what I mean? I can't. You hear me? So shout out to him being free. Now, oh man, this one recently yesterday actually, because this is the day after MLK Day out here in the land, LA. You know what I mean? I seen that there was a whole gang thing going on. Now, I have feel a lot of ways about this. I'm gonna start by saying I'm glad that it wasn't a lot of blaming. That I can say. I'm glad it didn't get to a lot of blaming, right? But I'll also say I'm very disappointed. That's the word, disappointed, because I can't at MLK Day, bro. And you see, if you want someone to respect you, you have to respect yourself. That's just a fact. If you don't respect yourself, people won't respect you. And you might say, "Oh man, just because I don't respect me, that don't mean you ain't gotta respect me." Yes, it does. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? If you have no name, people know what to call you. They don't call you anything. They just call you, "Hey, yeah, yeah," because you have no name. You have no identity, right? Same thing with, you know what I mean? Ethics standards. If you have no standards, ethics, then anything is your standard ethics. You're as good as the dog, or you know what I mean? Or you might be one step above the dog because dogs just kind of go whatever is going. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like in the sense of the way humans think and process things. You know what I mean? But yeah, this situation right here, man, it was very sad to see because on MLK Day, where we as black folks in America, are, going through oppression and all this, and have been talking about how we don't get treated with respect and all this. We are not savages. We are not what they think. We are not this and that. We deserved it. Woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? We're not the stereotype, right? And then individuals on the day when we're supposed to be revering our blackness and happy, black folks go at war with black folks on a large scale in the city that is one of the popular cities in the world. You know what I'm saying? And it was a very bad look. You know what I mean? And over gang beef, right? It's, like, bro, I'm saying this honestly and with compassion. It's like I understand that these gang beefs, as people say, have been going on before time, dog. Yeah, not said before time, but before that. But why are you beefing? And I think this gang beef thing is also likened to a similar thing with us being black, pointing hands at the white folk, which we're not saying that's not systemic racism. That's a fact. But we keep pointing at it. This is my problem. We keep pointing at it like this is the. It's just like saying, like I said, we came to the world. Nobody asked to be born. There's climate issues. There's all this stuff. This is what we have to deal with. We don't, we try as much as possible to avoid it. But since it's something we can't change because it's a natural disaster, not saying that systemic racism cannot be changed, but since it's something we can't change, I'm talking about, like natural disaster, we adjust, right? We deal. But when it comes to this situation that we've been trying to tackle, this systemic racism shit that we've been trying to tackle as black folks for years, we're still stuck on just pointing fingers. Simply because I say this because we're not united in the front, right? Is it becomes a thing of excuses. Like, and as I always say, once there's always going to be an excuse. There's always a reason for something. Bro, I promise you, there's always a reason for me sitting down right here. There's always a reason why I should not be sitting down right here. There's always a reason why I should. There's always going to be a reason. Somebody can give you a logical reason. There's always going to be, right? You know what I'm saying? And in this situation, people can look at it and say, "Oh, they're kids." You know what I'm saying? "Oh, they're kids." Hey, you know what I mean? We shouldn't. They're young. They're the young ones. That's the excuse we keep hearing. "Oh, they're kids." But these kids keep doing these things. Like, keep making us look really bad. You know what I mean? And yes, you can talk about how they parents and all that, but that's still excuses because these kids still have choice. Oh, kids, their brain are not developed, but kids still have choice. You teach kids, they still have choice. Yeah, they don't know enough to that's not an excuse no more. Right? Because at this point we've been on this excuse. How long? There will always be kids, right? And there will always be excuses. So are we going to always keep pointing the finger at systemic racism? Or as black folks, are we going to take it upon ourselves to unite? Because the issue is that we are not united in one. Where a group is doing, this group is like, we're gonna stand for the black oneness, black businesses only. This other group is like, bro, I ain't taking, bro, y'all niggas ain't gonna go. I ain't taking. This other group is like, I'm gonna see how it's gonna go. And this is the reason why, you know what I mean? Because I keep saying, not trying to compare, but realistically, it is comparing. Look at the other communities, like the Asian communities. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about in America, right? These folks stick together. They're very community type minded. You know what I'm saying? We community minded, but what I'm saying, that's not in fighting, like, or should I say public? We don't hurt like that, right? But within ourselves, that's and not yes, it's because there's a lot more of us, yeah. So it makes sense. Of course, there's a lot more of us, but I feel like at this point, it's not about trying to get everybody to follow everybody shouldn't come along. I think the solution is the people that's gonna do is start doing it. Those that want to get in will get in. Right? They're gonna get in and they're gonna do it. You know what I mean? Because at this point, I think we've been really trying to get everybody to come on, and it's not working. Everybody is not going to do it. There's always a Judas. There's always some people that's not gonna agree with the message. That's not gonna, you know what I mean? You don't hate them, you don't discriminate them. You just you know what you on, right? And in this situation, it's so sad because I look at these are young kids, just you know what I mean. And it's like the older ones will be like, bro, what can we do? We can do things. There's a lot of things, and you know what I'm saying. I'm talking about the older gang members. I'm talking about the older parents. Bro, you know what I'm saying. And let's be realistic. Let's cut the slack. Let's cut the bull, right? Gangs were started to police our neighborhood, to protect our neighborhoods, but they're not doing that no more. That's not the goal anymore, right? Mind you, these young men, these young ladies, these people that did all this MLK Day, they know the history. Part of being part in a gang, you have to know the history, so you know what the gang stands for, how it started, right? So when you deviate from the because of beefs, mind you, these beefs, as I said, personal beefs. Like if I'm carrying a beef that this side has with that side, or the other side has with the other side, but it's not a personal beef with me, that's not a, to me, that's, you know what I mean? Just because my people, I don't have a personal issue with you, right? And then let's say we do have a personal issue. Fisticuffs, this should be enough. And that's why I said I congratulate them in this whole thing of this parade, in the sense of there was, you know, I heard there was a stabbing or something, but it wasn't, you know, it could have really gone, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I say I congratulate them, but let's take it a step further and even cut the bug, right? Let's, because brother, sister, this thing we're doing, dog, where is this is the thing, we're hurting ourselves. And this is the problem. Realistically, we are the cancer. I'm talking about this specific. We are the cancer to our own selves, to our own people. And if we're not willing to change, our people really should cut us off, because we're not. We've literally told them, because this is the thing, right? And I'm not saying this about, this is not gang members. I'm talking about individuals in the culture that have decided that they don't want to help the culture, because it's not just, you know, I'm talking about, because it's an individual thing. I won't say it's a gang member thing. I won't say it's an individual thing. Some people are Uncle Tom, some people are, you know, all that stuff. But these individuals have made it clear. They say it. They make it clear. They're like, bro, I'm not. Y'all, oh, y'all keep doing that. When someone says that, like, yo, I'm not on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying that they not, you know, I'm not talking about the neutral party. I'm talking about the ones that say, no, I'm not doing that. Y'all niggas is the ones that's against the black support and the black going up, and they black. Those individuals, we know, okay, once we know who you are, that's cool. It's not a separation segment, but it's just, bro, you're not on my mission, dog. Like if you ask me for something to drink, I'll give it to you. You ask me for something to eat, but bro, clearly you're not, you know what I'm saying? I can't associate. I mean, I guess I can, but you get a. I'm not ostracizing you, but bruh, like I don't know what you on. You feel what I'm saying? And me, generally, if you've heard me talk, I don't care about skin tone. Like I care about, well, of course, let's be realistic, right? We still have to tackle compartments of this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we all one, we human first before we are any race and all that good shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I say that a lot. You know what I mean? But if you notice that, you know, this subset of humans, or these humans are not being treated like these other humans, then of course we want to address that. You know what I mean? That's why I'm addressing this black thing, because this is a real thing. And this is not just in America, this is worldwide. Black folks are worldwide. Africans, like black, something about melanin is hated in the world, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's quite, and I don't know if people haven't noticed. Like I don't know if people don't even think about it. Like, bro, why is it that, you know, even the people that don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, bro, why do we not, you know what I'm saying? And then if you give the excuse of, okay, they savage, or they dirty, they, how are people not dirty? Are people not, have I not seen a lot of, but they have a lot more people like that. They're, you have you have to, you see what I'm saying? You have to reason and plot. That will help you to, you know, check yourself to know what, where you stand. Am I racist? Am I, you know, a segregate? You know, what kind of, like, this is an individual thing. You ain't gotta tell nobody. You know what I'm saying? But this helps kind of, because for me, bro, man, I look at this thing, I'm just like, bro, like what? Why is it? Because and if you in this world and you say you don't see how being of a darker hue affects you, you must be of a lighter hue. I'm just being honest. If you don't see how being of a darker skin tone affects your life, 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, most likely you are of a lighter. That's why you don't see it. But that doesn't mean it's not real or it's not happening, right? And that's why I'm just trying to take perspectives, right? We are all human, we are one. But this happens, and I'm telling you, this is across nations in the whole globe. There's something about melanin that just has people act negative towards. I've heard this from, you know what I'm saying, the darker hued Armenians, which is crazy. Out here, in the line, and I got Armenian friends, you know what I'm saying, older individuals too. You know what I'm saying, like we talk about older, like people, fathers, and all that shit, like you know what I mean. And they talk about, yeah, like bro, man, they chop it up like, damn, for real. You know what I mean? Like I've heard this in the Latino community. You know, I'm talking about the darker, same thing. Oh yeah, man. I'm like, what's going on? You feel me? It's just, what is it about melanin? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just find it interesting, and you know what I'm saying. So it's like I don't, But my whole thing with this whole thing is just, with this MLK thing, it hurt to see, because it's like, bro, you're all giving these folks ammo. You know what I mean? And you say, "Oh, I don't care what it." Don't become the devil they think you are. Don't become the thing they think you are. It doesn't help. You think it helps. You think it verifies. You think it validates you. But if you've ever done that thing in real life, you realize now you've become that thing that you don't want to be, just because you were following some. Realistically, you become that thing not because you want to be that thing, but because basically they then got you. They've got you. They made you become that thing. And you're okay with, oh yeah, you made me become that. Now you're living a life that you don't even want to live, simply because somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And then, yeah, you might say, I don't care. They go, we gonna know towards the end of your life how much you don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because realistically, it's cool to say it when everything is good, right? But when things get crazy, you then start seeing people's true colors. You know what I'm saying? Like when shit hits the fan is when you really know how he really smells. You feel me? Like, bro, I was really hurt. I was really hurt by seeing that, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Because it just kind of just made it was just like, bro. And the things they did, of course, was crazy. But it's just the at a point of peace. I don't know if this is a regular thing. I heard it's a regular thing where they, and if this is a regular, it's just even worse. You feel what I'm saying? It just I don't. It's not a good look. Of course, they might not, not care. Clearly, they don't care about the look. Posted it all everywhere. But for the mission of black equality, black unity, black oneness, getting us to the standard that we trying to get to, respect in America and around the world. Yeah, nah. No. Hell no. Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying this, you can tell I'm being respectful, because these are my brothers, these are my sisters, these are, you know what I'm saying? These are my people. You know what I mean? Yeah. Those that know my past know my past. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? We all one, dog. Like, we just gotta figure it out. Just gotta figure it out. Anyway, peace and blessings, man. Don't forget, of course, uh, go check out my most recent film, where I think is well, this is not my most recent one, but this one is out. My most recent one is where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I think it's this one. Yeah, my most recent one out right now is this guy right now. So you can go check out this joint, Stuck. I'll put it right here. Yeah, go check out my most recent concept film, really short, like a concept teaser, whatever it is, Stuck. Um, I'm gonna do a whole reaction type thing on the podcast. I am art, so tap in with that as well. And of course, support, stay positive, and I'm gonna see y'all next time. You feel me? Peace and blessings.